Halftime. Full time. Extra time. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing.
Welcome to another edition of Kickoff on the Couch, sponsored by Debonair's Pizza. With me today I have Mr. Mark Herman and Mr. Nick Said. Welcome, guys. Let's just jump straight into it. Let's first start off with Absa Premiership. Chiefs, after a bit of a shaky start, back on top of the log now. 3 wins in a row. What have you taken from their performances lately, Mark?
Yeah, it's quite amazing. I mean, Chiefs, a few weeks ago, they were bottom of the log. They were calling for Compella's head. Suddenly, they're top of the log after, I think, 5 games now. They've shown an improvement recently. I think, I've covered a few of their games. They haven't been the most convincing, but, all they needed was that little piece of luck just, get the first goal, and then obviously they followed it up with 2 more wins. And I think Compella, you can see in his post-match interviews, he's a lot more relaxed these days. He's back with all the metaphors and the... But, I think... it's just amazing in football how quickly things can change. I mean, even Putsa Masumani at Sundowns, a few months ago they wanted him out as well, and now he can do no wrong. So, I think they can only improve from now on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously the log is a bit lopsided in terms of games that still have to be played by other sides, but definitely the informed team, Bidvest Wits. Nick, you called them to win that MTN8 final, and they're obviously looking like a very good side, having beaten both Soweto Giants and then obviously Sundowns in the final. What is Gavin Hunt getting right this season that he maybe hadn't done previously, or what has changed?
I think he's got very good combinations this season. If you look at Hlatswayo and Mkonazi as the centre-back pairing, they've done exceptionally well. I think at this stage they've only conceded 3 goals in 7 or 8 games. Central midfield, he's brought in Moner and Malambo. And so they seem to have clicked very nicely together. And then up front, with Rogers has been in excellent form. You look at someone like Mahango, who brings pace. And then you've got the experienced wingers of Klate and Palembe. So, he's really... I think they often say that for a coach, it takes 2 or 3 seasons for you really to mould the kind of squad that you want to play your tactics. And Hunt now is in his 3rd season with Wits, and I think it's starting to pay dividends.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, the beaten finalists in that competition was Mamelodi Sundowns, but obviously they have bigger and better ambitions to look forward to. Obviously, coming up now is the CAF Champions League final. It's huge. It's a big chance for South African clubs to get there, to get another star. What do you think is Pitso's mindset after obviously losing the final and now got these 2 big clashes against Zamalek coming up?
Yeah, look, I think Pitso, he had to weigh up whether to rest players in the final in the MTN8. For this, this is the big one. It's quite clear from all of his, everything Pitso has said that he really wants this one. He really wants to put Sundowns on the map in Africa. And I think, it's a bit of a disappointment losing the final, but I think he was even prepared to sacrifice the MTN8, even though he's never won it with Sundowns, in order to be fresh for this final. And I think that, Sundowns will... I think they definitely got a chance against this Zamalek team. They've beaten them in the group stages before. I think they've got a good break now up until the final, so they've got a bit of a chance to recharge and to work on their tactics. But I think, as you said, Aluta continue. The struggle continues. I think he'll just put out his best side, play the Sundowns way, and I think they've got a great chance.
Mm-hmm. Moving swiftly along, obviously, to international action. Bafana Bafana are taking on Burkina Faso this weekend, Saturday. It's the first of the qualifiers. Obviously, we didn't get off to the greatest start in the AFCON qualifiers, and we missed out on a ticket to Gabon. What do you think needs to be done, or what are you expecting from the game on Saturday, obviously, against Burkina Faso? They ranked 67th, we ranked 62nd. They were pretty good in the qualifiers, only conceding 2 goals, but only scoring 6. What kind of a game are you expecting against what should be a difficult trip into Africa?
It is going to be very difficult. And, the problem with Bafana is you never quite know what you're going to get from them. They don't always perform to what you would expect, and sometimes they surprise us and they perform better. So it's very difficult to predict, but it is going to be a very difficult trip. I was looking at the weather report today, actually 37 degrees. It's going to be hot. They're predicting thunder showers. Obviously, the game's being played at night, so that's going to ease off a little bit, but the humidity is going to be high. So I think it's going to be a huge test, not only of skills, but of the fitness of the players, which hasn't always been the greatest within the South African team. And also, that sort of mental capacity. It's not the biggest of stadiums. I think it holds about 40,000 or so. So it's not, one of Africa's most intimidating stages. But I do think that it is going to be a very, very difficult start. And I think realistically, a point might feel a little bit like a win, to be honest.
Mark, just your thoughts on South Africa's strike force for this game. They've got Rantu's hardly had any club action. Gabuza's been in Ndoro's shadow at Bucks. Lizar Rogers gets a call-up for the first time since 2012. He's been Wits' man at the moment. And then you've got Vilakazi, obviously doing well so far at Sundowns, and then obviously Mkwango, who at Polokwane City delivered the goods last season. Who's going to lead the line in your opinion, and can they get the goals, especially away?
Well, look, I think our form's been quite good on the road. I mean, we've actually been better away from home than at home. I think we benefit from the fact that we're under less pressure away and we can play more on counter-attacks, on transitions. I think Elazar Rogers has made a lot of the headlines, in terms of our strike force. But honestly, I don't think he'll actually play. I think Shakes will go with his preferred target man, who's Gabuza, who's performed admirably. For Bafana, I mean, he's not always performed, but he has delivered. Even Ranti, I mean, you can't say he hasn't performed in Bafana colours. I think he'll go with Gabuza again, possibly Gabuza and Ranti up front, and then bringing on Vilakazi, perhaps if we haven't scored, which is, I think, the pattern that the coach has gone with. So I don't know. I think a lot of pressure is put on strikers, but I think the midfielders also have to come to the party in this game. It's all about taking your chances, obviously. So while Gabuza might not score, he might, do all the hard work for someone else to score. So I think maybe the midfielders, maybe Dolly, it's time for him to crack another one in. He got his first shot towards the end of the qualifiers, and I think he's in top form at the moment. So I think he can maybe be the key to unlocking Burkina Faso.
Can I just add to that, Fabs? I think, especially Mark quite rightly says that Bafana performed better when it is because, as he says, they tend to soak up the pressure from the opposition, hit on the counter-attack. But one guy who's always been key to that is Andile Jali, and he's not there for this game. He's injured. So for me, one of the keys will be how that midfield combination, as Mark says, shapes up. Is he going to go with Kakana and Furman, I would think? Is he going to put in someone like a May Mahlangu in the central position or use him out wide? May's also not played much at all. He's only just joined Dinamo Bucharest. I think he's made 2 substitute appearances. Tulani Serrero, as we know, he has his troubles at Ajax Amsterdam. He's not played, apart from knocking it about in the reserve. So I think there's a lot for Mashaba to think about. And again, it'll be those combinations that are key.
No, definitely. Well, of course, we just wish our boys well, and hopefully they can come away with at least a point or all 3 in Burkina Faso. I think we're running out of time. So that's it for another edition of Kickoff on the Couch, brought to you by Debonairs. Just a reminder that the October edition of Kickoff magazine is on shelf now. Some great stories to look forward to and to read up in this edition. And of course, we have the yearbook that's going to be out mid-October, so do watch out for that. It's the Bible of South African football, all your stats, all your squads, everything you need to know, all the trophies won by all your favorite clubs, and all the statistics on the Bafana Bafana players as well, and players playing abroad. That's it. Thanks, guys.
The ultimate pizza is back. That's 3 cheesy layers decked with sliced Russians, Franks, boerewors, chicken sausage, and cheese grillers. The 5-sausage triple decker from Debonairs Pizza. Try something amazing.